Modding GTA 4 can be a complicated mess, and that's why you came here, because I'll be sharing some tips in this video that will hopefully make it easier for you to mod GTA 4. The first question you need to ask yourself is this: which version of GTA 4 should I use for modding? At the time of the video's release, 4 known versions of GTA 4 can be modded, that being version 1040, 1070, 1080, and the Complete Edition. However, each version of GTA 4 has different modding capabilities. Because of that, I decided to create this table that shows each GTA 4 version and its modding capabilities. So by the end of the video, you'll be able to figure out which version of GTA 4 best suits your type of modding experience. We'll start by identifying some general characteristics of each GTA 4 version. All GTA 4 versions except for version 1040 have the DLCs. All GTA 4 versions except for the Complete Edition support multiplayer. GTA 4 had a few significant updates throughout the years that would affect the performance because of graphical changes. Version 1040 has the best performance by far. Versions 1080 and the Complete Edition have good performance, but not in comparison to version 1040. Version 1070 has their worst performance by far. It is beyond the scope of this video to explain why each version does perform differently, but there are videos and resources out there that will tell you why if you're interested. If you're gonna mod GTA 4, you'll want to get Open4. Open4 is a tool for modifying, extracting, and inserting files into GTA 4. It's mainly for installing modded cars, pet and player models, weapons, sounds, props, animations, textures, and much more. Installing any of these types of mods works in every GTA 4 version. You can click the card on the upper right hand corner of the video if you're interested on how to install car mods. Now, if you plan to install those types of mods, you're going to want to make backups. Making backups basically means that you're saving the original in-game files before replacing them with their modded counterpart. You can also back up your entire GTA 4 folder so you have the original files elsewhere to refer to. I highly recommend you do this because certain mods, such as car mods, can cause you to run into serious issues. There is an alternative and modern method for augmenting mods into the game without replacing the original in-game files. You can use a mod loader to achieve this. There are 2 types of mod loaders, Ivy Tweaker and Fusion Overloader. To learn more about mod loaders and how to use them, you can check out a modding guide that I've linked down below in the description made by Gillian. I'll be talking more about this modding guide later in the video, but this is worth visiting if you're interested in using mod loaders. Regardless of whatever type of mod you install, you should always try one mod at a time. Follow the cycle. First, install the mod that you want to get, then go in game to see if the mod works or if it causes any issues, and then move on to the next mod. This essentially helps you in the process of elimination, where you'll be able to root out any of the issues with the mods that you install. When modding GTA 4, it's typically recommended to enable file name extensions. This helps you know the types of files that you're working with, whether they're model files, texture files, some kind of configuration file for a script, and much more. To do this on Windows 11, go to the top of your libraries bar, click View, click Show, and click File Name Extensions. File name extensions will show up at the end of the file name, such as .png, .jpeg, .text, and things like that. Let's now talk about installing .ASI Script Mods. To install any script mod with a .asi extension, you just have to extract the files of the mod into your game's directory. Installing any script mod with a .asi extension requires for an ASI loader to be installed into the game as well. I do have one linked down in the description called the Ultimate ASI Loader. To install it, extract the dinput8.dll file from the compressed zip folder into your directory. Any .asi script mod typically works on all versions of GTA 4 unless a certain mod specifies otherwise. To avoid using games for Windows Live on GTA 4 versions 1040, 1070, or 1080, you can rename the file from dinput8.dll to xlive.dll. This is highly recommended if you only plan to play GTA 4 single player and not the multiplayer. Next up, we'll talk about installing .NET Script Mods. To install any script mod with a .NET extension, you simply have to extract the files of the mod into your game folder under the scripts folder. If you don't have the scripts folder in your game folder, then you simply need to right click on your GTA 4 directory, click New, click Folder, and type scripts in lowercase. Any .NET script mod typically works on all versions of GTA 4 unless a certain mod specifies otherwise. However, it should be noted that .NET script mods compatible for the Complete Edition of GTA 4 are limited and that you may experience problems. Installing any script mod with a .NET extension requires ScriptHook to be installed. I have provided a link in the description for ScriptHook. Let's now talk about IB SDK.NET script mods. Various script mods utilize an SDK known as ivsdk.net. The SDK runs .NET scripts, but only if they're built for ivsdk.net. Keep in mind that this SDK is only compatible on GTA 4 versions 1070 and 1080 only. A link to ivsdk.net is in the description below. To install it, simply extract the files from the zip folder into your game folder. To install any .NET script mod that's specifically built for ivsdk.net, first go to your game directory, open the ivsdk.net folder, and extract the mod files into the scripts folder. One of the greatest mods built around ivsdk.net is Liberty Tweaks, which enhances GTA 4's gameplay in multiple different ways. I did showcase Liberty Tweaks in a video a while back. You can click the card on the top right to see it. Also, do note that certain mods built for ivsdk.net may require Klonk's coding library, and a link for that is down in the description. To install it, just extract the files into your game folder. Let's now talk about ENBs. You might come across installing an ENB if you're looking to alter, improve, or overhaul GTA 4's graphics and visuals. As you might have guessed though, installing an ENB does take a toll on your game's performance, so it does go without saying that it does greatly depend on your system specifications. ENBs have the best quality on GTA 4 version 1040. They are also compatible on versions 1070 and 1080, but they're not as good in quality as they are with 1040 due to certain defects and unsupported features. ENBs are not compatible on the complete edition of GTA 4. Now, I can't emphasize this enough. You should always read the readmes. Most if not all mods come with a sort of readme. If it's not on the mod's website or download page, then it's most likely in a text file that came with the mod. Rarely will you ever find a mod that does not come with a sort of readme. Now, it is ultimately important to read the readme because A, it can include instructions on how to install the mod, B, it can mention any prerequisites you need to have before installing the mod, C, it tells you what version or versions of GTA 4 that the mod is compatible with, and most important of all, it provides information that you as the user should be aware of, such as bugs, issues, and etc. It goes without saying that you as the user should know what you're working with, and that modders are not responsible for whatever happens to your game. Let's talk about creating a command line. Command lines are parameters or conditions that you as the user specifies before the game starts up. This is typically done to support the game's functionality or optimize it in a certain way. I definitely recommend a command line for GTA 4. Without a command line, one could experience multiple issues. An example can be demonstrated on version 1070, where you're typically unable to alter your graphic settings if you don't have a command line. So to create a command line, go into your game folder and create a text file called command line. You'll want to specify each parameter line by line preceded by a hyphen or a dash. Two of the most important parameters for GTA 4 are dash no mem restrict and dash no restrictions. These two parameters allow the user to alter the game's graphic settings without having any restrictions. I've linked a forum down in the description below that shows some other parameters you can specify to get your game the way you want it to be, such as getting your game to be in windowed mode. I hope this video helped you mod GTA 4, especially since it's not a game that's greatly optimized for modding. I'd like to quickly follow up on that table that shows how capable each GTA 4 version is to modding. Every version of the game allows you to install modded cars, pet and player models, weapons, sounds, animations, textures, and etc. Installing any .asi or .net script mod generally works on every version of the game unless a mod specifically says otherwise. Installing any .net script mod built around ivsdk.net works only on versions 1070 and 1080. ENBs generally work on versions 1040, 1070, and 1080, but you should always verify if any ENB works on either of those versions. ENBs have the best quality on version 1040. Also, if you'd like to read a really good in-depth guide of modding GTA 4 to greater lengths, then I'd like to recommend a sort of handbook that somebody in the GTA 4 modding community has made. It's made by a user named Gillian. I've linked it down below in the description for your reference. I highly recommend checking it out since it has a lot of good modding techniques and tips, as well as providing a lot of how-tos. If you'd like to learn how to downgrade your game to versions 1040, 1070, or 1080, then check out the video on the top right of the screen. Otherwise, check out the other cool GTA 4 modding videos that I have up on the screen here. Thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful, then please do show your support by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Otherwise, enjoy your modding experience and take care.